Welcome to Karma Amp Kit's videos. Build your own boutique. The construction of some capacitors involves a wrapping of foil with one end of the cap connected to the outside layer of that foil. I'm Greg from Karma Amp Kits, and today we're going to look at how to determine the end of the capacitor that is attached to that foil. I like to think of the outside foil of a capacitor much like the shield inside a guitar cable. When connected correctly, the shield serves to reduce interference from lights, motors, basically any electrical noise trying to induce itself onto our signal. Note that orienting capacitors by their foil is only necessary on some non-polarized caps, not the electrolytic or silver mica caps as shown here. Of course, electrolytics have their own polarity which must be followed. It's also not necessary to orient caps that don't pass audio, as in these caps that are part of the tremolo oscillator circuit in the Karma 20T amp. My setup is a simple switch box to hold the capacitor and choose which end of the cap connects to the shield of an audio cable plugged into a mic input, which then goes into my Pro Tools software. That way we can hear and see which end of the capacitor is the outer foil and mark that end. When the orientation of the cap produces the least amount of hum, we'll know that the end of the cap that is connected to the shield of the audio cable is also connected to the outer foil inside of the cap. I'm going to hold the capacitor tightly between my fingers to induce some noise into it. Now let's start recording and listening while we switch between the sides of the cap. This is a 0.22 microfarad capacitor I'm testing, and you can clearly hear and see the difference in the noise induced as I switch which end of the cap connects to the audio shield. My testing box is showing me that the cap is the most quiet when its switch is pointed towards the red alligator clip. So now I know that is the end of the cap that is connected internally to its outer foil. So I'll mark that end with a felt tip marker. Let's do a few more. This one's a 0.01 microfarad and it's a Mallory 150 series like the last one we tested. There's a definite difference in noise level depending on how the cap is oriented. I'll mark the end of the cap connected to the outer foil based on what I'm hearing and seeing. Now let's check this red film cap. It's a 0.022 microfarad cap. Let's do one more. With this 0.0047 microfarad cap, it's a little bit harder to see and hear the difference, so let's look at this one in a little bit different way. I've put a plug-in on an aux track now so I can see the noise difference more clearly on its VU meter. As I switch between the two ends of the cap, you can see that the difference isn't quite as great, but it is there, so I'm going to mark the foil end on it as well. Once you get the hang of it, you can go through a whole amp's worth of capacitors and mark them before you start building. How much difference will it make? Well, there's debate about that, but it's easy to do, it doesn't take long, and it certainly can't hurt anything. You can find more information about this in your Karma Amp Kit manual, along with labels showing which way the caps should be oriented inside the amp. Please check out our other videos, as well as our page on reverb.com. For Karma Amp Kits, this is Greg saying, build your own boutique.